Welcome to Independently Speaking podcast. I'm your host, Glenn Mayo. Independently Speaking is a weekly podcast platform where we kind of discuss all things basketball, grassroots, AAU, college, even on into the professional level. We are a multimedia event and marketing company, and both the brand home of the NYBL and Lineage of Champions. Today, we are kind of honored with a special guest, Mr. Tyree Boykin, former Division II player, recent App State signee, kind of headed on to play at the Division I level. And we are also joined by our co-host today, former Division II player as well, Augusta, Georgia native right now, our co-host, Jelani Watson-Gale. So, guys, I appreciate you taking a minute to hop on here with us. Much respect to both of you guys and what you guys have accomplished to this point. And, like I said, thank you guys for hopping on.
Man, thanks for having us.
I guess, Tyree, we'll kind of, jump right into things. Me and you kind of discussed already. People have seen the articles written and they, kind of followed along with your career up to this point and seen the awards you've won. But, just kind of really getting to know you as a person in your journey to this point. Starting even with your family, from what we hear, you got it's in your bloodline to be an athlete. And so kind of tell us about some of your close family and the success they've had in the sports.
Right, yeah. So it starts really from, my dad's side of things. Man, his dad played, he was Mr. Basketball in Detroit back when he played. Then he'd go on, his sister, Michelle Greer, played for Michigan a while back. So, and then that trickled down to us. So I'm one of five. So I got four of the siblings. My oldest brother, he's probably the most successful of us, but he's a musician and he owns his own business. So it's called Inspire Natural Goods. But me, after we all hoop. So I have a younger brother who, Cameron, he started playing in eighth grade. He always been around it, obviously being around us, but he started playing in eighth grade on the team. And man, he played at Bryan College. It's in high school in East Tennessee. And then go down to my sister. She played at Mercer. She had 2 rings there. Now she transferred. She's going to UT Martin next year. And then my youngest baby brother, who graduates this weekend, he's going to Bethel University to play, continue his basketball career. So, yeah, it definitely runs in the blood a
I
little
would say
bit.
competitive household for sure. I'm sure you guys were, competitive over everything in there.
Everything, you name it.
Um, well, talk to us a little bit about your journey at Union specifically. I know you spent how many years were you there? Or 3, 4? How long were you? How long were you? 5.
Five.
Okay, got you. So you got. I know you went all the way back to win freshman of the year. Did you have some injuries along the way, or kind of just you dive in and kind of tell your story there at Union?
Man, yeah. So I started off, man, I didn't really have anywhere to go. I had a bunch of JUCOs and stuff on me. I wasn't super heavily recruited out of high school. So coach called me out of nowhere, and this is the first week of August. So it was really late in the game, and he called me. He got me up on a visit on that Friday. Man, I committed on the spot. So I just felt, a connection that we had in the bond that, I mean, we still share. That we're really close. But I mean, that's how it all started. I started late. So I came in, nobody really knew who I was. A lot of people didn't know I was coming. So I came in, it was instantly like, in prove yourself mode.
Tyree, you still with us?
I
You might
started
be.
off first game. You get I started off the first game. I had 48 against Spring Hill just to start the season off. And then man, from there I think I averaged about almost 23, 24 points going into my injury. So I was sidelined for the rest of that year. And then I came back I guess my junior year. Came back, had a really strong season. I led the conference in scoring. Man, just we didn't get it done like we wanted to. We ended up losing the first round of our conference tournament, but we still going to the next year. It was COVID, so I sat out that year, and then going into this past year, man, we went 24-9, which is we marked down as the best season in Union history. So we went to the NCAA tournament. We won a game in the NCAA tournament, which hasn't been done at the school before. So we lost in the conference championship, which is our first time being there in the D2 era. So man, it's a lot of things to be proud of at the same time. Like it's still, as a competitor, you always want to get it done, and we just didn't get it done. But man, my journey at Union was like it was magical, man. Like it's just the people there, my coaches especially, that Coach Nevin, he always stayed on me, and he always, held me to a different standard, held me to a higher standard, put me in a position to be able to lead. I was unanimous captain for 4 years, so man, all that stuff, it just groomed me into being a player, and not just a player, but the person I am today. So I loved it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. No, it definitely is true that, aside from your, experience on the court with basketball, just, your time spent at college and just being away from home and making new, friendships and new relationships and experiencing new things that, in itself is is a big journey, a big part of the process, a big, maturation almost, if you will. So I can imagine with you spending, a good amount of time there that, that was really good. So kind of, fast forward to, maybe 3, 4 months ago now, when you said things did fall short of the original goal, and now you're, faced with the end of the year, you're faced with finals, you're faced with like the next decision. Obviously, the transfer portal is a huge topic nowadays, both good, both bad. Regardless of what your opinion is, it seems like everyone has an opinion on it. So, with someone like you that's trying to formulate your own opinion on it and having to, not just have an opinion, but actually go through it, what led you, into that, field? What made you, ultimately decide to feel comfortable with the decision that it would work out like it obviously has? Kind of just give us what led up to that, what factors played into it, kind of your thought process on it for, other athletes that, are coming behind you that may face the same thing. They may have a time where they got to decide, hey, do I want to enter this transfer portal? Do I not? Do I want to, figure it out, or do I want to, go for something better? So, kind of walk us through your process if you don't mind.
Right. So my situation was a little different because, this is my fifth year. I had just played my fifth year. So, 5 years, that's a long time, being in school. So I was actually ready to play professionally. So I kind of went on that track for a minute. I talked to a few different agents while maintaining my eligibility, and man, I realized how unprepared I was. Not from my game standpoint, but man, there's a lot of different politics, and there's a lot of different things that you have to do and certain deadlines and stuff that you have to meet with paperwork and all that kind of stuff. That man, I just wasn't prepared for it. So it was kind of difficult at first because I knew what I wanted. I knew I wanted to play professionally. But once I stepped back and realized, okay, I'm going to just use all of this and I'm going to transfer because now I know what the process looks like. I know the kind of the ins and outs of it, and I know now that I have people around me that also have an idea of how it's supposed to be. So it's great knowing that. It's great going through that, and man, I think I got. It was probably a day before the deadline of declaring for the draft, and me and my dad sat down to talk. He was like, "Okay, like what we gonna do? Because we were kind of in the spot where, do I go back? Do I, and we're all trying to get to the ultimate goal, of playing professionally. So I'm like, hey, okay, what's the only thing that checks all my boxes? I want to, with having this 5th year, I already started my MBA. So how can I get my degree? How can I play on another level, which is D1, obviously? And then how can I put myself and market myself to where, it makes it easier for me to get to the next level? The only thing that checked all those boxes was going in the transfer portal. And like we said, like, man, it was the day before the deadline, and man, that decision was hard on me. It was hard on me because I spent so much time at Union, and man, that's my family right there. So it was hard to leave that and leave all my people, man. But it just got to that point, and I took a lot of prayer and you know a lot of confidence that I got from talking to people in my circle that it was the right thing to do. So we jumped in the portal. Now, what I would, yeah, I would just say if you're going to go in the transfer portal, then you need to know exactly what you're looking for. Because I mean, I've talked to a lot of coaches in this process, and a lot of them equated this to speed dating, which is exactly what it is. Like, it's going back to high school. It's guys that have been talking to a certain coach or a certain program for 2, 3, sometimes 4 years, and that relationship that's being built, that's not the same as jumping in the transfer portal, because everybody knows what they're looking for, so they're going in there and they're looking for a guy that fits their needs, and it's a very quick process. So it's real, real, you know, it's real tricky when you get to it, because the relationship piece, which I think is very, very, very important for a player, because I mean, you can go to a school and you can have a great career, but if you don't really feel like that those coaches are in your corner pushing for you, then what really sense does that make? So going into my situation, man, I committed on the spot when I went to Union. So I told myself going into this, okay, I need to find a coaching staff that's gonna make me feel like my coaching staff at Union made me feel. Made me feel at home, made me feel like it was a family, made me feel like, this is somewhere that not only I was wanted, but somewhere I was needed. And that's exactly what Coach Kearns and the rest of the staff at App State did, which was what led to my decision ultimately. But you wouldn't really know that if you didn't go in there knowing what you were looking for. And I was just blessed to be able to find a situation, and quick too at that.
No, absolutely. Okay. What were some of the other, schools you were considering, or I know you probably took a couple different visits. What all was the process like for you? Was there ever, a time where you were, just, man, I might not find what I want, or you had, the options you wanted, and kind of how did that go?
I had the options I wanted. I probably talked to anywhere between 30 and 40 schools. It was a lot of different schools. So the process for me was like you said, a speed dating. But Division 1 is different from Division 2. So Division 2, you got your head coach, you got your assistant, people involved. So the relationship piece is even harder to grasp there, because I'm talking to this school, I'm talking to their head coach and 2 or 3 different assistants. So multiply that by 30 schools. So with all that, it gets really confusing. But I had the options that I wanted, but it was more of like, okay, the process of elimination. The relationship piece, like I said, was big for me. So I kind of weeded schools out based on that, and then based on what's going to be the best for me, and for me to come in and make an instant impact, and be able to still do this kind of the same things I was doing at Union, be able to utilize my full skill set, and be able to compete at a high level. So that's what I was looking for, and I found it.
Absolutely. No, absolutely. You got a great spot.
So
No, no question. Now I know, man, it's really hard. to put in words, but I know it's got to be special, especially, like I said, your journey from, from out of high school with the, amount of exposure and opportunities you had then, to, the injuries that you had in high school and college, to, having to, deal with the transfer portal, the almighty transfer portal that, is feared and loved at the same time. And, to kind of be here and to have this opportunity, like you said, to see what all the hype's about. But at the end of the day, as well as I do, the court's still the same length, and the goal's still the same height, and you're still going to get to your spots on the floor, just like you did there at Union. So, kind of tell us about, going forward now. What's some goals for you this year? What's some goals for you? Even looking beyond this year. Being someone that is, you already see the door open for some professional opportunities. So now you've just got to, kind of maneuver your path in the right direction. Kind of give us what the next, 2 to 3 years is hopefully going to be, for you.
Right. So for me, it's all about the process. It's all about the present, like what's going on right in front of you. So, I'm up early every morning, just getting it, working out, working on my body, which is really important. Just continue to work on my game because just as you see a lot of stuff I do, and a lot of people get excited about that kind of stuff, and I'm like, back in my mind, I'm like, man, I got a whole lot to work on. Like I got a whole bunch of different things I need to work on. So I'm always, in that mode. And like I said, I'm always in the present. So, it's going from the Division 2 level to the Division 1 level. For a lot of guys, they would say that it's a big jump and it's all that kind of thing. But for me, it's about basketball. Like you said, like this, the lines are the same. 3-point line is the same length. Nothing much has changed. And like what I really pride myself on is how hard I work on my skill set. So if you take a look at that and my skill set and the way I shoot the basketball, that translates. It's going to translate over. And I'm not one to be like, hey, like I'm about to average this much or that much, but it's going to be a great year. It's going to be a great year. So I'm looking to, man, it's not just about me either. It's my team. Like, man, we talked about my coaching staff at App State, man. I talked to just about, not only did I talk to almost every one of my App State teammates, I've talked to guys that, have graduated, alumni, like that have been on my phone that helped me with just, navigate this whole decision that I made. So, I feel like it's a real family around me. And man, I'm hearing, App State got the best fans in the world. So I'm ready to go down there and put a show on for them every night. And man, let's get back to this Sun Belt championship. That's what I'm looking forward to. And then from there on, my goal is just like everybody else should be, is going to the NBA. So I just want to continue to stay in stay focused on what's going on right in front of me, and man, put my name in the hat and see where it goes from there.
Absolutely. No, I love it. I love it. I love it. Well, I definitely want Jelani to kind of get involved from a player's perspective and hit you with something. But speaking of the NBA, I'd be remiss if I didn't, hit you with it, man. Who do you got? Who's going to be in the finals, and then essentially who's going to end up taking it on home?
Oof, man, it's I knew it was gonna be the Western Conference Finals, Conference Finals. I predicted this. I knew how this was going. I knew this. Golden State gonna
Mhm.
win. We know that. Mavs got a game, whatever, cool. That look good on Luka's resume. That's all cool. That's love. I'm a Tatum guy. I rock with Boston heavy. I rock with Tatum. So just seeing that whole group grow and develop,
Yeah.
that's that's a scary team, especially when Big Boy get healthy, when Williams III gets healthy. So I'm thinking unless Golden State just has one of those nights for 4 nights,
It's got to happen 4 times.
then I mean, there's nothing that nobody in the world can do about that. Yeah, but it has to happen 4 times.
Right.
Has to
Right.
happen 4 times, right?
Mhm.
So I'm looking at it like, okay, how are we gonna match up? That's how all it's gonna be in the end anyway. How are we gonna match up? Okay, who we putting on Tatum? Wiggins? I was just talking about this earlier. Like, okay, I put Wiggins on him, but if you notice, Wiggins is a really good defender on guys that take a lot of dribbles.
Yeah.
Tatum is a guy that plays at a triple threat,
Yeah.
and he's 6'10", big body, 6'10". So that's a different kind of monster that you're gonna get. And then you got Jaylen Brown. Who we putting on him? Clay? Is he going to be able to match that physicality? Is he ready for that now at this point, coming off the injury? Okay, now, my only thing about Boston is, okay, you got Tatum, you got Jaylen Brown. Marcus Smart going to do what he do. Horford, Williams, they're going to do what they do. You have to have either Grant Williams or Peyton Pritchard. They have to play well. They have. They're going to be almost essentially expected in these series because that's what it all comes down to. Like you look at the Warriors. Steph do we do, Clay do we do, Draymond, whatever. Here comes Jordan Poole. Now the whole dynamic of things change, and they start running through teams. We have to have the same thing on this end because if we're relying on, it, like you see, like look at the series right now with the Heat and Boston, blowout, boom, come back, blowout. Like that's not the teams playing each other. That's coaching. That's a lot of coaching right there. So that's gonna happen, especially in the finals. They coming with everything they got. They come with the kitchen sink. So those two guys are going to be vital in the finals, I think. But right now, Boston is 6.
Austin and 6. I like it. I'm about to
Boston
say
is
it's
6.
definitely a chess
That's
match.
why I'm rocking with.
It's definitely a chess match for sure. There's no doubt about
Definitely,
it.
definitely.
Jelani, coach, who you going with? Who you rolling with? Who you got?
Got Golden State winning it all.
They're too good, huh?
Nah, they are. There's no one can guard them, bro. And the thing is, like, how they play so unscripted, and their chemistry is just out of this world. And it's like they defend as well, and the fact that they defend and they could just string together 8-0 run real quick, 8-0 run real quick, 8-0 run. Before you know it, you're down 20 something. And then and they've already got going. So it's like, bro, how are we gonna stop this train that's already moving at 50 miles per hour? So it's just like it's tough. Well, I got Golden State. This Celtics series, I haven't watched enough of it to know, but I got Boston, man. I got Boston. For sure.
I like it. I like it. I like it. Well,
I love it.
July, I wanted to give you a chance before we got off. I think we're coming up on 25 minutes or so. Anything that you got from Tyree, just kind of from your perspective, or that you wanted to know?
No, definitely. To Tyree, I feel like just from hearing your story, like we both got some similar aspects. Like out of high school, I wasn't heavily recruited either. I only had one offer. I finished the high school basketball season with no offers, and I was just working out, like traveling all over to teams and stuff. And I feel like that feeling of like not being recruited kind of made me play with a chip on my shoulder. So, did that do the same with you? And if it did, is that same chip gonna go with you when you go to D1 and show them that, like, yeah, I was D2, but you feel me? Everyone puts on their shorts the same, their shoes the same. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely, yeah. Like it's if you're not playing with some kind of chip on your shoulder, there's something wrong with you. You got to come with that because there's a lot of, I mean, as we see, it's a lot of great basketball players out here, a lot of really good basketball players out here. So, if you're just going off pure talent, it's things that happen in the mind that happens with, when you turn that switch on your mindset that, you know, everybody can't go there. So that's really what separates you as a player and what has separated me, it's the mental side of things that, you know, everybody can't compete with. So that's what really, among things has put me over the edge. And like you said, playing with that chip on your shoulder. I'm in a situation now where I'm going from D2 to D1, and like I said before, like for me, like I said, we put our shorts on the same way. It's the same jersey, it's the same everything. Same Nike check. You know what I mean? So like it's not going to be really a difference for me. And like I said, like my skill set
speaks for itself.
it translates. It translates to the next level.
Let me,
Absolutely, it speaks for itself. So just hearing people saying like, oh, like it's gonna be you're gonna have an adjusting period when you go to the D1 level, or or it might be a little tougher, or you're gonna see a bunch of different guys that's gonna do this. I'm just soaking all that in. I'm just hearing it and hearing it over and over again. So now when I'm in my workouts this whole summer, that's all I'm thinking about. So by the time the lights come on in November, you're just gonna have to feel that.
so let me ask you this. You spoke a lot about the mental side, and personally, I had to work on I still do. I feel like we always still have to. I've worked on my mental side, and I've seen that take my game to a different level as well. So just speak about the mental aspect that you had to improve on, and you realized and worked on, and how that took your game to the next level.
It's just having a killer mentality, having that goes with a lot of different things. Having that killer mentality is not really something that you can turn on and off, So it's not like, okay, I'm about to go in the gym and I'm about to work on my game as hard as I possibly can, and then I'm going to leave here and be a different person. It don't work like that. It's a lifestyle. You know what I mean? So it's not like only I'm about to kill when I go to this gym, or I'm about to kill, we about to play pickup, or we about to kill, we about to play the real game. When I go in this classroom, I'm gonna kill. when not like anything that I do, like that's my mindset, and I want to be the very best at it. And for me, it comes with not only wanting to be the best, but there's just such a curiosity and a fascination for the game that I have that I can't ever be comfortable. Like I said before, like I had a lot of accolades this year over my career. It came up to ended up with me being an All-American, which is amazing. But I'm still looking at it like, hey, they still think that this guy or this guy might be better than me. So it's not like it's never a point of rest for me. It's never a point of being comfortable for me. It's always like, okay, it's a list of guys in front of you. How am I gonna knock them all off? And it has to stay that way. And it's not something that you can really turn on and off. If you can turn it on and off, that's a little problematic.
Yeah.
It got to be something that's just wired in you. Now at this point, like you said, like I worked on this. Like I work on this in the gym, like with the amount of shots that I take, and the way that I take them, it's like, yeah, like it's serious. It's serious. It's another level of thinking.
So with that being said, what kind of advice would you give to somebody that has been through the same kind of process that we've both been through? Someone that's under recruited and someone that's not really well known or stuff like that. What kind of advice would you give them?
I was just stay in the present. You like with being a killer, you have to. It's about chess, but at the same time, you can only make one move at a time. You can see out, you can see what you need to do and stuff like that, but it's all about making one move at a time. So whatever I'm doing right now in front of me, like you're under recruited. Okay, so with you being under recruited, because I like you said, I went through this. So with you being under recruited, you're probably going to take unofficial visits, most likely, and they're going to bring you in and either work you out or let you play against the guys, one or two. So between that time, and you don't know when this call is going to come. So between this time, what are you going to do to be ready when the call comes? It's that simple. So by you thinking like, oh man, because like exactly what I mean. I'm thinking like, man, and only that, but I'm seeing all of my friends signing. Like he's going D1 over here. He's going D1 over here. He's signing to go Duke over here. Everybody's signing. And I'm happy for everybody, but it's still like, man, like knowing the caliber player that I am and the competitor that I am, you know, it's that call's gonna come. My call came in August. My call came in August. So just stand ready, because when he called, man, I came my visit, shut the lights out, man, played with the guys. I played my butt off. So like it's all about what are you gonna do right now, and you can't take any time off because the time that you off not working, somebody else is.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I got one last question for you. Just from just hearing you speak and listening to what you say, have you read the book Relentless by Tim S. Grover?
It's in the mail right now.
Yeah.
So I just got finished reading Mentality, actually, Kobe's book. So I just got done with that. So and I'm seeing like, then I went on Instagram. My dad been sending me a couple clips. I've been seeing Grover.
Yeah.
I keep on seeing his name. And I heard him with Mike. I heard about him, but then I started following him on Instagram, and he posts snippets almost every day. And I'm just hearing what he's saying. It's like, man, like the mindset that I've had, that guys have had, you know, but I mean, strictly speaking from experience, like he's kind of putting a name and a face to all of it, you know, and I'm getting that one. I want to read Winning too. Both of those, like that's on my. Those are gonna be done by the summer. But just hearing him talk and him talking about, I don't know if you heard a little bit about him talking about the dark side, like using the different kind of energy. You know what I mean?
I've read the book. That's why I read it.
Kind of
a lot
right. So some of that stuff that he's saying, that I'm hearing him say on the snippets, and even reading a little bit here and there, some of his articles and stuff, it's like he's just putting it in words. I could never really describe it to anybody else. It's just like, okay, it's always, I'm in my zone. I'm kind of in my mode, or whatever you would call it, like that. But he's actually putting a name to it.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited to read that and Winning. I'm excited.
Absolutely. I've actually read that one myself. That's a really good one. The Grover book, Relentless. So man, again, guys, I appreciate both of you guys taking some time to kind of hop on here with us. You know, everybody on here is kind of at a different point in their journey. Everybody, you know, I think on here is kind of got it in their mind that they're going to strive for greatness, and that they're waking up every day with a purpose, and that, you know, I think that's the type of stuff that, you know, eventually leads to long-term success. So, you know, before, you know, I say goodbye, man, I'd like to give you guys a chance to, you know, kind of say any last things that you guys got. But again, from the bottom of my heart, man, appreciate you guys hopping on. I thought it's been very good, very informative, and, you know, wish you guys the best going forward.
Appreciate you.
Tyree, you got anything?
Man, I just want to tell you thank you so much for having me, man. I really enjoyed myself on this show. Y'all got it going on over here. And hey, like I said, I'm ready for these. You know, I've been hearing a lot, like these App State fans, the best fans in the world. So, you know, when this drop, I'm ready to see that. I'm ready to see how they go like when they see this. So I'm excited.
Absolutely. No doubt.
I got a message just to the young hoopers out there. The main thing is, what really separates like good players from great players is confidence. But your confidence comes from your work. So if you have confidence but you're not working out, that's delusional. So just keep working and have confidence in yourself, and your game will just speak for itself and go to a different level.
Absolutely. That's big time, Jay. That's big time. Well, again, thank you guys, man, and we look forward to following along with you guys' progress, maybe getting you guys back on in the future. All right?
All right, definitely.
Sounds good.
Take
Tyree,
care.
nice to meet you, man.
Nice to meet you, man.
Well, that does it. Another episode here for us in the books, independently speaking. As you saw now, we've had different people on board, from college coaches, AAU players, to now Division II players that transferring up Division I, guys that, have a little, experience in the transfer portal and what that really means. So, we always encourage you to watch this episode, share it with your friends, share it with your family. If you stay tuned at the end of this, you'll see a reel with some events that we got coming up, whether it be, high school camps, AAU camps, coaching clinics. You'll see the website stuff, independenthoops.com. You'll see our social media stuff. For all of our middle school stuff, we got, one of the biggest middle school leagues in the country, the NYBL. That's at NYBL B-Ball, Instagram and Twitter. And Independent Hoops gets most of our high school stuff, as far as the Peach State, the Icebreaker, Southern Exposure. Just a ton of really good events, really good scouting service. So you can follow that on Instagram and Twitter at MyLineOfChamps. So until next time, have a good one.